Going to get set up with the next match in this round of top 8. I
Oh,
believe this
there
is the
he
final one.
is. Yes. We've got the Stoneblade player taking on the Masked Avenger, the Grixis player. I'm so excited for this.
This is hype. Yeah, so this is the first round of top 8 at GP Shizuoka. It is, of course, live yesterday, but not live today, sadly.
Okay. Some pretty insane stuff. The Blade Hero has 2 main deck back to basics, 3 true names. So there's a lot of key cards that he potentially can draw in this matchup, and cards that are impactful and important at fighting off his opponent.
Is he playing versus the Delver deck? What is he playing against? I'm not sure what the pilot on the left is playing.
He's playing Grixis Control.
Okay, so it's Grixis Control versus the Delver deck?
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. I'd say it's I'd probably say it's like 40-60. Favor for the Grixis Control pilot.
Yeah, they just have a lot of cards and a lot of versatility about how their cards can operate in the matchup, whereas a lot of the blue-white cards are a little bit more kind of one track. They only really get to do one thing.
Yeah, the way that I would characterize it is the Stoneblade deck kind of revolves around card quality advantage, where there are very specific key cards that it wants to have when it's fighting versus its opponents. So Batterskull Jite is the prime example. And then a lot of times, because the Grixis Control deck just continues to just churn advantage over and over. Oh, it looks like he's playing against Grixis Delver. So that might be a little bit slightly different, but there is a certain portion of just raw advantage that the Grixis Delver has. And you can also just get Delvered out, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely some 3-2 threats on turn 1 can be pretty tough to deal with. You can see him off to the side there. I like how he's displaying them now. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You see a stack of Delvers, and it almost makes you think that they're exiled for some reason. But of course, they're only in the early stages of. Looks like they're on turn 2 of the Grixis Delver player.
Yeah, so I like to think that there's like flip Delvers, unflipped Delvers, unrealized Delvers, and so these are the ones that haven't been played yet.
Absolutely, they are the unrealized ones. Yeah. And turn 2, and there was not really a deployment. It looks like that Stoneforge Mystic got thought seized from the Stoneblade player. Like all the people, they're all gathering around.
Yeah, I got rid of that early. Yeah, these this match is kind of hard to watch from this angle. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, what's going on?
We get to see, yeah, it's more like a player profile than it is. There we go, and panning back to the match and back to the pilot.
Yeah, they're just like they're just showing them thinking. It's like, hey man, here's how this guy thinks. I mean, not that I don't enjoy that part, because I think all the aspects of Magic are important, like your mannerisms and how you play and your execution when you're doing certain combinations of things, like how you handle your deck, how you handle your cards. I think that stuff's important, but
definitely. I think there's definitely a time and a place for it.
Yeah, but especially when we're trying to get a good look and do some analysis and try to figure out what's going on with the game, it's this angle's very tough and not indicative. It doesn't help at all.
Doesn't help a whole lot. At least we're not just seeing the players' faces, because then I could not tell even what was on the board. Not much, obviously, but yeah. So we got a Delver of Secrets here on the right, as well as a Ponder to follow up, which I imagine will be guaranteeing a flip next turn. Yeah. I believe we got a Swords of Plowshares, though. Get rid of that now.
Yeah, I mean, of course he's going to go ahead and find his basic planes right here, because I mean the Wasteland Days side of the Grixis Delver deck is just so potent and so
definitely.
But yeah, Plow getting deployed right now, and of course you can see that the Stoneblade player is playing around the Days, and it looks like a Force Will was cast and a Brainstorm in response.
Yeah, so I didn't see what the Force of Will pitched. It immediately got put on the other side of the deck, so we can't see it. And then in response to the Force of Will, we're going to see a Brainstorm. I wonder if he's digging for... Does he have any copy of Days in this deck? I do not believe so.
Oh, wow, and he hits a Plow.
Oh, is that a Plow? Okay, I thought it was a... Okay. I thought it was a Disenchant, which I was really confused by. Plow makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Although Disenchant, I mean... I've brought in Disenchant versus Delver decks, because sometimes, I mean, especially versus Rogue Delver, because sometimes they just play like either Sylvan Library or Sulfuric Vortex, and you're like,
oh no!
Oh my god, that's so sick. If
so I'm gonna say that, yeah, that was Oof, that was a risky time to cast that Brainstorm, I think. It kind of set up this window where he's tapped out, doesn't really have any interaction. I guess he was prepared to just untap and be good to go. That being said, this is nice because it's allowing Yuta to actually get a shuffle effect off. Usually this
Yeah,
Brainstorm would have been just a one-turn Brainstorm lock. It wouldn't have been a double lock because there's a fetch land in Yuta's hand, but now he gets to get rid of at least both cards. That's like the only silver lining here.
man, surgical extraction is so, it just feels so marginal, but like when it hits and it connects in this fashion, it's like insane, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Jeez.
Yeah, Surgical is usually brought in sometimes in these matchups just to say, you know what, I don't want you to have this tool. But sometimes it's also like whenever there's a Thoughtseize attached to it as well, it's just so
Yeah.
devastating because you know
Yeah.
that the card it's targeting is such high priority.
Wow, that was sick. I feel a little sick to my stomach right now. I'm not quite sure Yuta has a good way to answer this Delver, except for with the equipment in his deck.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of, there's a Stoneforge Mystic, so at least that's one piece. Ponder off the top there from Yuta. That was not in his hand when the Surgical revealed it. And it's hopefully Stoneforge time. Just hoping the Daze isn't there.
Yeah,
Just
the
kind of been
Daze, the
jamming into
Bolts.
it, so.
Jeez. And it's probably gotta be GT, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, he's
I don't
going
know.
Skull.
There's the freaking
Was that a braid?
kill, though. No, it was a Forked Bolt. That's the kill for the Stoneforge.
Good enough, and just all sorts of problems. He has to figure out how to answer this Delver like right quick, otherwise he's gonna be in rough shape. I mean, a 3-2 for one, a flying wild the cattle. That's something. Let's talk about something here.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so here's a Brainstorm. Let's dig deep. Find another Stoneforge Mystic is really what Yuta's looking for. Stoneforge Mystic can actually generate some card advantage here if Yuta puts back the Batterskull and then recasts a Stoneforge, finds that Batterskull again. I did that once versus somebody. I played 3 different Stoneforges and got Batterskull each time, and my opponent had the contents of my hand written down, and they thought that I had 3 Batterskulls in my hand.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, hey, it could happen. You're allowed to have that many angels in the outfield, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I have seen somebody play 2 of them.
Was that me?
I wouldn't be surprised. Sounds like something you do.
Yeah, or I've seen people play 2 in Vintage. I've seen that happen. Just kind of insane. But anyways, so I'm just kind of looking at the sideboard for of Yuta, and it doesn't look like he has any other one-drop removal. Like, I guess he has Isolate? Question mark?
Yeah, this is a card that can be targeted by Isolate. They did update the rules for flip cards, so at least its CMC is 1. I kind of miss the good old days back when you know your opponent had engineered explosives, so you'd flip one of your Delvers, but not the other one.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was really sick.
The good old days.
All right, True Name hits the board, but who is ahead on life? And also Lightning Bolt's in play for Takahiro.
Definitely. And also, it costs less mana for Takahiro to execute his game plan. It costs Yuta a whole lot more to cast cards like Chase the Mind Sculptor. And so if you're kind of getting your cards 1-for-1, and yours costs 4 times as much, you're kind of losing out on a lot of equity.
Yeah, Chase the Mind Sculptor on the stack, and a Pyroblast is probably what Takahiro is looking for. But, I mean, honestly, any series of answers could potentially...
Pyroblast or Spell Pierce are fantastic here.
Spell Pierce, man. I still don't get it. One day I'll get it, but I still don't get it.
It's so good.
It's really good right now.
Ever since Deathrite Shaman got banned, that card has gotten much better. And yeah, so here's a Pyroblast, hard counter for the Jace. And post Jace resolution, we're going to see a Ponder off a fetch. Dig deep. Looking for hopefully another card, another threat. Not really a lot of removal spells anymore with the Lost to Swords to Plowshares. I'm trying to look at it. I'm looking at his deck list now, and
it's Isolate or Bust, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Jace was probably going to downtick there, in all honesty.
Yeah, Jace was down. He was going to play the tempo Jace play. All right. So it needs to be answered soon, otherwise we're going to be in bad position. And to be fair, I mean, like, Yuta is 3 swings away from winning. Like, barring no changes to the board, which is obviously not possible, but, you know, I mean, technically he is ahead.
Yeah, technically. I guess it's going to be clean in his favor, right? Yeah. Assuming no other spells get played.
Yeah, but...
Takahiro just played a Brainstorm, had to redraw one of the cards, but fetched the other one away, so he might be finding some action here pretty quick, too. Really no hard answer for this True Name Nemesis once it resolves.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that you have evasion, you can kind of fly around and get around it, but in this spot, it's just an attack and a continuous attack. And that is a large creature right there.
Gurmag Angler is a big, scary monster, yeah.
So, tough position if you're Utah. You're probably just thinking, all right, I need some help off the top. Anything at this point.
Gurmag Angler certainly shortens the clock. This puts it into his favor, at least. This True Name Nemesis might have to stay back on defense.
That is a tough spot to be in. And if Takahiro has Lightning Bolt, that's going to be it. Yeah, it.
Okay. Writing on the wall. Lightning Bolt will close out this game.